let's get into the options. The first up, the ones that were exercised. We'll, spend a little bit of time on some of the bigger names, but I don't think there's anything overly shocking here from this list. The Braves exercised Marcell Ozuna's $16 million option, and he just had a ridiculous season. He hit 302, 39 home runs, 104 RBI, and he finished as the 11th overall player in Roto, the 13th best hitter in head-to-head points. He went 58th overall in our first mock last week. That went to you, Chris, and I mentioned this early draft that I'm doing. I got Ozuna 81st overall. 81st.
There is either going to need to be a market correction once everybody realizes how many util-only players there are, or these guys are just going to remain huge discounts all year long because, look, Ozuna is almost certainly not going to be anything but DH eligible in 2025. At least Brent Rooker, we hope fairly early on he can get outfield eligibility. But Ozuna was a top 15 hitter last year and would not have been far off in 2023 either. We're going on multiple years of him being an impact bat and just getting pushed down because he's DH or util only. But the thing is, Shohei Ohtani is going to be the number one pick in most drafts, or a plurality of drafts maybe. Brent Rooker is going to get drafted a lot. Marcell Ozuna. There's one more. Kyle Schwarber's the other one, the really big one. That's already a third of your 12-team leagues are going to be every single week starting someone at util who is util only. That's not including Jock Peterson and JD Martinez and Masataka Yoshida and Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah, I'm not saying those guys are must starts, but I think there's a pretty good chance that even in a 15-team league, half the teams most weeks are starting a util only player at util. And at that point, I don't think it really matters that they're only util. Yeah, you'd rather have some flexibility. And if you're, if you're stuck between Corey Seager and Brent Rooker, okay, Corey Seager, he's a shortstop. That helps. But I do think these guys are, in almost every draft I've seen, usually really, really strong values. And at 81st overall, for the numbers you're going to get from Marcell Ozuna, you're getting a third round caliber player in the 6th or 7th? That's a 7th round pick.
7th round pick, yeah.
In a 15 team league.
No, it is a 12-teamer. This is 12-teamer.
Oh, 12. Okay. So that's awesome. So yeah, I think we're going to have to stop dinging the DH only guys for being DH only.
I think one of my early draft strategies is I'm going to go into every draft, and if I can get any of Rooker, Schwarber, or Ozuna outside of the top 50 picks, I'm going to do it every time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. Like we said, after you get outside the first, 4, 5, 6 rounds, power is kind of hard to come by. And all three of those guys should, on paper, provide pretty good powers.
They were all top 20 at worst in 2024. Obviously, they're not all going to have the same seasons they did, but there are almost no worrisome underlying trends for any of them either. Rooker's quality of contact was elite. He almost entirely lived up to his ex-WOBA. Ozuna has been actually underperformed his ex-WOBA most of his career. And then Schwarber obviously, traded some power for some contact last year, hit for a better batting average, but he's rock solid. We know that. So I'm gonna have one of those three guys as my DH in a lot of leagues, I think.
The Brewers exercised Freddie Peralta's $8 million option. He had a solid season, 3.68 ERA, 122 whip, 200 strikeouts on the nose. Cody Bellinger exercised his $27.5 million option for 2025 and will remain with the Cubs. He was solid this year, 266 with 18 home runs, 9 steals. Obviously, we do want more speed from Cody Bellinger. The D-backs exercised Eugenio Suarez's $15 million option. Bounce back year for him, where he hit 30 home runs with 101 RBI. The D-backs also exercised Merrill Kelly's $7 million option. Missed a lot of time with a shoulder injury, but was awesome in 2023. So hoping to recapture some of that magic. The Yankees exercised Luke Weaver's $2.5 million club option. No brainer, obviously. Strong season, strong playoffs. My guess is he's the favorite for the closer role if they don't make a move. And they might, because, they're losing out on a couple relievers. Clay Holmes is a free agent as well. Could they be in the mix for like a Devin Williams trade? Could they, try and bring in a veteran guy like a Kirby Yates? I don't think it's crazy. So we'll see, obviously, what the Yankees do this offseason. The Rays exercised Brandon Lau's $10 million club option. They also have an $11.5 million option for 2026. Rhys Hoskins exercised his $18 million player option. This is a pretty rough one for the Brewers, because Hoskins only did 214, 26 home runs, 722 OPS was a career low. He's a really bad fielder. So, they took a chance, and
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bounce back, but yeah, I think they were probably secretly hoping that he would not do that. But of course, $18 million is a ton of money.
Yeah.
So
another one here, Jordan Montgomery exercised his player option worth $22.5 million. Disaster season for Montgomery. 6.23 ERA, 1.65 WHIP, well below a strikeout per inning. He's turning 32 in December. Chris, I refuse to believe that Jordan Montgomery is just done. Like, he just forgot how to pitch. It was just a weird offseason. He didn't sign until like right before opening day. So it's just a weird season all around. And I'm not saying he's going to be great, but can he turn into like a Michael Wacha type? I don't think it's crazy.
I like to think that even if it made financial sense for Montgomery to turn this option down, and it absolutely would not have, once the Diamondbacks owner made that statement about what a bad signing it was, he was guaranteed to take that option.
Yeah, that was pretty messed up too. But I guess you can't blame him for being honest, right? Look, in hindsight, it was a pretty bad signing.
Hold on, I have to open the door so that my fatter cat doesn't eat all of the food. But continue. I'll keep my headphones on.
Don't worry. I'll keep going. Lucas Giolito exercised his $19 million player option. He underwent an internal brace procedure way back in March of this year. March of this year? Yeah, this year. And it's confident he'll be ready for the start of the 2025 season. Obviously, it's been a while since we've seen the good version of Giolito. So,
and this is another second elbow reconstruction, or I don't know how we categorize it, but yeah, he had Tommy John surgery once before.
Major elbow surgery.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say. The Orioles exercised Ryan O'Hearn's $8 million club option, and as of now, O'Hearn looks like the strong side DH with Ryan Mountcastle at first base. Anthony Santander is a free agent. And the Orioles also exercise Sir Anthony Dominguez, who he'll likely serve as the setup man to Felix Bautista. And Hunter Renfroe exercised his $7.6 million player option. Looks like he's penciled into right field for now. Obviously, the Royals can still make some moves.
Trade Ryan Mountcastle.
Please. I don't think this would happen. Same division, but I think the Yankees are going to be in the market for first baseman.
That'd be a good fit.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
what kind of odds am I getting for DJ LeMahieu being their starting first baseman on opening day? I just feel like it's a lock for the Yankees.
That's gross.
3 more years left on that deal for DJ LeMahieu.
Who could have seen it coming?
Options declined in recent days. This was
fun. This was a fun little.
Garrett Cole opted out of his contract with the Yankees on Saturday. Everyone is freaking out, losing their minds. The Yankees could have voided the opt-out by adding an extra year worth $36 million to his current contract, which I believe is 4 years, $144 million. That's what's left on the deal. Then on Monday, Jeff Passan reported that Cole will remain with the Yankees on his remaining deal. Essentially, it's as if Cole did not opt out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Cole was like, dare me to do it. And the Yankees called his bluff, and he's like, I'm not going to do it.
JK.
And then I'm going to, if you guys will take me back, then I'll be back. They're like, yeah, sure. We like you, Garrett Cole. And that's how it went down. As expected, Blake Snell declined his $30 million player option and will be a very sought-after free agent. The Brewers declined Devin Williams' $10 million club option, but he remains with the Brewers as he's entering his final year of arbitration. GM Matt Arnold said they will stay, quote, open-minded regarding a potential trade. I don't want to say it's a lock, Chris, but it kind of feels like this is going to happen.
For sure. And that this was a little scummy. Like, yeah, they're gonna save like $1 million in arbitration by doing this, and it's like, all right, get your $1 million, I guess, but yeah.
Yep. The Rangers declined Nathan Eovaldi's $20 million option, but have great interest in bringing him back. And Eovaldi turns 35 in February, but was still solid. Once again, 3.80 ERA, a 1.11 WHIP, 166 strikeouts over 170 and 2/3 innings. Sean Manaea declined his $13.5 million player option and is now a free agent. He obviously had that resurgent season after dropping his arm slot, trying to follow that Chris Sale mold, and worked out very well for him. Ha-Sung Kim declined his $8 million mutual option and will enter free agency. He's also recovering from shoulder surgery and could miss the start of the season. The Braves declined Travis d'Arnaud's $8 million club option. And,
he's almost surprising because it had been reported that they were picking up him, Marcell Ozuna, and one of the relievers. I can't remember that. This was reported a couple weeks ago. And I was kind of bummed because Travis d'Arnaud is the only like even moderately decent free agent catcher. So now he'll hopefully sign somewhere else, and he's a solid number 2.
He hit 15 home runs this year in 99 games, and he still graded out pretty, not great, but he's
a starter.
It's like around average defensively. So yeah, I mean, look, some team can use Travis d'Arnaud as a starter, and so that could help us out. We get another second catcher in there. I think. Obviously on the Braves side of things, they're looking for a big bounce back from Sean Murphy. They're kind of rehanding him the keys as their everyday catcher. I think the fact that they have a prospect in their system that's coming kind of gave them more confidence that they could let Travis d'Arnaud go. And that prospect is Drake Baldwin, who he's 23 years old, had a strong season in the minors, is playing well in the Arizona Fall League. And I think as of now, he's probably the backup. So.
Yeah, no, I think that's a name to keep an eye on, certainly in NL only leagues. I think the problem with Murphy is he played so much at the beginning of 2023 and just completely burned out. He talked about it, just caught up with him. He was awesome in the first half, really bad in the second half, and hasn't really, he had the oblique injury this year that I think explains why he wasn't great this year. But I have to think they'll be fairly careful with his playing time, but not as careful as they were when d'Arnaud was there. So, yeah, in a best case scenario, I think Baldwin maybe plays like 40 games. But he's an interesting player to keep an eye on if something happens to Murphy.
Reliever David Robertson declined his $7 million mutual option and is now a free agent. He still is pitching well, despite being, I believe, 40 years old now at this point, and should earn a high leverage role somewhere around the majors. Jock Peterson declined his $14 million mutual option and will become a free agent. He's coming off a great year, hit 275 with 23 home runs and a 908 OPS. Certainly could be a strong side platoon for some team. Frankie Montas declined his mutual option. The Mariners declined Jorge Polanco's option. The White Sox declined Yoan Moncada's $25 million option, maybe the easiest call of the offseason so far. The Cardinals declined both Lance Lynn and Kyle Gibson. The Orioles declined Eloy Jimenez, and the Yankees declined Anthony Rizzo.